got the knowledge in store. Oh yeah, Alan Dan, watch him talk up a flare. Movie and TV show reviews what you need. Film preps on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film prep, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3. From blockbusters to indie gold. Oh yeah, Chris and Alan break the mold. Pop your corn, turn down the lights. Get ready to groove through movie.
Hey everyone, welcome. Happy Friday. It's a Friday in Vegas. Well, every day is kind of a Friday or a Saturday in Vegas. I'm here at the meetup and ready to talk to you with lots of movie news. Got a lot of breaking news this morning. We will get to it, plus reviews galore. So many reviews today. We'll be talking about Sinners, I Know Catherine, The Log Lady, The Shrouds, David Cronenberg's new film, The Ugly Stepsister. Yes, a fractured fairy tale from Sweden. Plus, gay movies. That's right. The Wedding Banquet, Grand Tour, and another movie that Alan forgot, but I'll remind him. So let's get things started. Let's go. Let's start the show. Well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start the show. Here we go. Let's just go. Let's just get going. We have to.
I'm really busy at the moment with Dr. Doom, but I'll say it, Alan.
Oh. So, how was that meetup?
I'll show you some stuff from the meetup.
I'll say this: watching my Twitter feed, my X feed, I was jealous not being there. But if I had gone to the meetup, I couldn't have seen the Wedding Banquet.
I'm so glad because I saw it, Alan, and we will talk about the Wedding Banquet. On Swift Horses, doesn't that come out this week?
Nope, comes out next week. Okay,
then I stand corrected.
Yeah,
I love that. But yeah, let's talk about this meetup. There were actually two meetups. There was a private meetup on Wednesday of just YouTubers before, meeting with fans and whatnot. And I'm here in Vegas. A return for me. Last year was not so great. But
so far, so good.
Yeah, no, it's good. I drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated, which feels good. And there was a private meetup on Wednesday. So, because in the big meetup, when like fans show up, it's so impossible. You can't talk to anyone. So there was a private meetup at the place. Basically, we met up last year, Millennium Fandom Bar. But I have something I can show from the meetup. This is going to be on our members only. I have a lot of other things to post for members only. But let me just show this for a second. Someone from the whole YouTube space. This was quite a moment.
We're in Vegas at the Millennium Fandom Bar.
We are here at the Millennium Fandom Bar in wonderful Las Vegas, Nevada. My man Chris Gore is here. He's having a better trip this time than he was last time. And apparently he has something for me.
I have a gift for you, Ryan. This is for you. Open it up.
Boy,
Tell me
one
what
of
you
the
think.
I Love shirts.
Yeah. There you go. What can it be?
If it's I Love Film Threat, that's going to be really lame. I mean, accurate, but lame. Let's see here. I love being a black woman. I should wear this around the strip. I should wear this around the Vegas Strip. I love being a black woman. Then maybe I can finally achieve my dream of being part of Black Girl Nerds. I heard they have just a wonderful organization there. And who's to say? If I'm wearing this shirt, you can't say I'm not, and I could say the N-word. No repercussions. Thank you, Chris. Just what I've always wanted.
So I found that shirt on Temu, and I thought, first of all, it's weird that shirt exists, right? It just seemed kind of weird because if you put I Heart Being a White Woman, what would that? It just feels weird to me. Am I? But I thought if anyone would wear such a ridiculous shirt, it would be Ryan. So there you go.
So adorable.
Very adorable. Yeah. So there will be more video on our members only. So check that out. And just a reminder to we got things starred here. Let's go to comments. Starting with M.
Yes, from M for 5. Happy Bunny Day weekend, my dudes. May this spring bring you lots of chicks in Playboy bunny outfits and decorative eggs. Waka waka, unicorn, bunny.
All right, you got that. It's
cool. MK solid. There's going to be an intense standoff between Chris and Alan over Sinners. Everyone brace themselves. Oh, yes.
Get ready.
Get ready. Buckle up, folks. Matthew Hammond, member for 13 months. What are your favorite Vegas movies?
Oh, God. Ocean's 11. I know that's kind of standard. I love that. Leaving Las Vegas, Nick Cage. So
the other Nick Cage Vegas movie, Con Air, is one of my
Yes. Oh, that's a great one. Yeah. I would say that's in the top for sure.
John Thomas for 5. Chris, what are your thoughts on the Tron trailer? It looked cool, and I'm interested in spite of Disney. Have you heard anything about the plot?
Only the basics that everyone else heard. I think it looks great, but I want to care about the characters because for me, it's a tech demo. It looks good, but what is the story? Why do I care? And I haven't seen anything like that yet.
You know, it reminds me of Independence Day. What's the most iconic memory of the movie Independence Day?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the blowing up of the White House. And I feel like seeing the Tron elements going through, I guess that's LA. I feel like we've seen the best of the movie.
Yeah.
Infinity Media Productions for 5. Alan, thanks for reviewing our film Jaws Fanatics. Hey. Yes.
That sounds like something I would like.
Yeah, it's this year's the 50th anniversary of Jaws. There's going to be a big celebration over at Martha's Vineyard. And Infinity Media Productions, basically they went to the fan group, had all the fans, the members of the group send in videos, give testimonial about their love of Jaws. I think my only criticism was it was too long. Got to cut those things down. All right, Suns and Shadows Coffee Pool. Chris at 0 cups needs 5 today.
100%.
SWG. Hey, Chris, it's Steve. It was great meeting up in Newport Beach this week. We got to go back to Cassidy and Malarkey's again.
Oh, thanks.
Malarkey's.
Thank you, Steve. He invited me to a screening of Sinners. It was really fun. And we walked around the area and found a great dive bar.
Oh, yeah. I know Malarkey's.
I love that place. I am a fan. Thank you, Steve.
The Nerd Far Away. I watched the trailer for Sinners. I was impressed. Honestly, some of the trailers we've seen during the interviews Chris does during the live stream have been more interesting to me.
Yeah, true. That's why we show them.
And from the great Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram, buy our merch, shop.filmthreat.com.
That's right. There is your friendly reminder. So there you go. And I'm wearing a shirt right now, the only one in Vegas. So there you go. We have a lot of news stories to get to. Not even sure where to start. It's kind of crazy, but Superman Day is today. April 18th is Superman Day. Alan, if you would share the story about this. This is, of course, just celebrates Superman.
Yeah, give me one moment here. Is it even on the? You gonna pull it up or?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Since here we go.
Okay.
Right here from Warner Brothers Discovery, where it all began. On this very day in 1938, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster introduced the world to Superman in Action Comics #1. Join us as we celebrate Superman Day and the hero who continues to inspire generations of fans around the globe. And of course, here is the cover of Action Comics #1, classic Superman lifting up a car and people running away terrified, which is kind of strange, but there you go. Hopefully there'll be something from James Gunn. Maybe you would think there would be a surprise from from James Gunn regarding the upcoming Superman movie. I don't know. What do you think?
James Gunn is a busy executive. He's working on a movie. And so if he forgot, I give him a pass because he's a very busy man and he needs to focus on that Superman movie and make it the best Superman movie ever made.
What are your memories?
Yeah, you should have remembered. Sorry.
Well, what are your memories of Superman and why are you a Superman fan, Alan?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my first introduction to Superman was the old television series with George Reeves. When you come home late, back in those days, come home after school, Superman was always on television on Channel 13. And, it was the superhero. It was the guy who could deflect bullets, who wanted to do good. It was everything you thought and loved about Superman, which is why I hate Zack Snyder's Superman so much.
Well, that's fair to have that opinion. I am with you. I actually became, watched that George Reeves Superman black and white show, which was cheesy and I loved it. Mm-hmm. I always liked when he would duck when they throw the gun, like the bullets would bounce off him. They'd throw the gun and he'd duck. And not hit by the gun being thrown. But then, of course, Superman comics and I watched the Super Friends show. I loved Super Friends, with Aquaman, Wonder Woman, all that. The Super Friends show, as cheesy as it was, I love the announcer, the halls of justice. So that was great. And it was the Superman movie when it came out in 1978 with that score by John Williams. Mm-hmm. I think that just solidified Superman as an American icon. It was patriotic. It was, I mean, that movie holds up.
Oh, yeah.
Today. And every Superman movie since has tried to aspire to be as good as that very first movie and has fallen short. So we'll see. I think from what I've heard, we've talked about people who have seen Superman in test screenings. And from what I've heard, this is
it's in trouble.
No, this might be the second best Superman movie.
Okay.
I would say probably third after Superman 2, but we'll see.
No, so, I mean, I think back and it's like Superman is the ultimate good guy. And I think that's why, and for me, that was kind of my first introduction to superheroes, to, the idea that they're there for you, that they're there to do good, to battle evil. And over the years, we just had to kind of sully that image for everyone else. And I hope Superman comes back as the ultimate good guy.
Yeah, well, one can hope, which is what that S means. Apparently, it means hope.
Yeah. Zack Snyder.
All right. Let's get to a lot of news. I'm going to move things around a bit here. I'm going to start with Marvel news. Big Marvel news. The Fantastic Four First Steps trailer dropped. And Alan and I got a glimpse of the FF movie when we were at CinemaCon. We told you what we thought of female Silver Surfer. And now many of you have seen.
Seen what we've seen.
And the reaction has not been great. That's all I'll say. We're going to watch this trailer and then talk about it on the other side. If you have not seen it, let me bring it up here. Give it a let's take a look, Alan, just to remind you.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
This car?
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four. Thank you.
Thank you, Fantastic Four.
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
Herbie, how's that sauce looking? Okay. That is fantastic.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Are you pregnant?
What? You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. Nothing is going to change.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
Are we safe?
I don't know. There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up. We will face this together. We will fight it together. As a family. Has to be us.
We will protect you.
Well, let me give you my impressions. Reed never had a mustache. I think it's strange that Pedro Pascal seems to
Put in as writer.
I gotta have my mustache. He doesn't feel like Reed. He doesn't feel like a leader. I will say, based on the more I see of this movie, the more concerned I am. I don't think this will be basically the bump that Marvel needs to get back on track. It's a disappointment. The next thing is female Silver Surfer is weightless. You know, I remember reading the comic as a kid, and when you look at it's weird. People were posting on social media, you know, Doug Jones as Silver Surfer way back when. The CGI 20 years ago was better than the CGI of today. And I think that line, your planet has been marked for death, that should be chilling. That should be delivered with gravitas. And while I have no issues with that actress, she is also miscast. I mean, finally, we have a Johnny Storm with blonde hair. That's fine. We can't get Reed right with the gray temples. And, you know, he would be like not clean shaven, you know, like working late into the night. You see an unclean shaven Reed, but I don't like the mustache. I think it looks goofy at times, and I'm really concerned. And also, since this is yet another, you know, attempt at getting the Fantastic Four right, there are way too many red flags for. I just wish they would just do the comic, and I mean, I can imagine like, you know, a different actor as Silver Surfer, even a different voice actor, you know, delivering that line and having it have some kind of weight.
Let me throw out Viola Davis.
Even something like that. I mean, she's an actress that does have gravitas, right? As Amanda Waller. She not so great as,
and she could deliver that line in a chilling way.
Just different. I don't know, when that line, I think that's supposed to be important. It's a line there's a version of that line in the comics that you're just frightened. Like what? Because the FF had never faced anything like that. So I'm I'm really disappointed. Alan, what'd you think?
Yeah, you talk a lot about tone, and the problem with this trailer is the wrong tone. It's played in the minor key when it should be played in the major key.
Yeah.
The film is depressing. The film has a low energy to it. There's no excitement to any element into it, and I think a lot of it has to do with the music behind it, with the every comedic moment in that trailer just feels like a downer. Reed Richards is super mopey in this one.
Yeah.
It's like you're not a leader. You're a guy who is saying everything will be all right, but in reality you're all doomed and I can't do anything about it. That's the sense I get for this movie, that there's no hope or excitement to come out of it. Going back to what our discussion about Superman, there's hope there. There's this idea that there are people who are going to do good in this life, who are going to save us, who are, who are going to sacrifice themselves. And I just don't get the sense of it. They say it, those words come out of their mouths, but as a trailer as a whole in this minor key, it just looks depressing. And I don't think anyone's going to get excited about seeing Fantastic Four simply based on this trailer.
Yeah, I think really female Silver Surfer does not work. Doesn't work. Plain and simple. I think it's across the board. That's the number one criticism. And Pedro is just, I really think he's miscast. He's just miscast. There were other actors that could have pulled that off. Maybe even an unknown or much lesser known actor, I mean, I think it was you who posted what'd you say in your
every movie with Pedro Pascal. No, any movie with Pedro Pascal is every movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll get to your reactions in a second, but the world is healing. The world is healing. It might take more time. Here's how I know. The Marvel swimsuit issue is back.
Yay.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
It's a Marvel swimsuit special is coming back after 30 years. It's back. I might actually buy a Marvel comic now. So, and we've got She-Hulk. That's the She-Hulk I wanted to see. Why did we not get that? So, I don't know. Alan, your thoughts?
I feel like when the issue comes out, it'll be woke.
I doubt it.
Is this real? Is Marvel actually doing this?
Well, here it is. Here's the cover. This is from Russell Dauterman. My cover for Marvel swimsuit issue special, Friends, Foes, and Rivals. Let's just say this. I expect there to be some very attractive women. I think there'll be beefcake men too, which is fine.
Yeah. I read someone on X said that the current Silver Surfer doesn't have a Marvel body.
Well, whatever. I'll more than likely buy this because why not? So
yeah, and I think I'm gonna start playing Marvel Rivals again.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that. Let's go to comments. Let's go to comments. We got a lot of comments.
Okay.
Hey,
Eric K for 199. Great seeing you, Chris. I guess you guys met up last night.
Last night, and your brisket saved me. Thank you so much.
All right. Fox 1, Floptastic 4, Toss.
Yeah.
Nerd Far Away, prepared to be underwhelmed. Bill S. Preston Esquire. What a diverse, well-integrated society. Yes.
Yeah, that's what's weird, right? It just seems like, but I mean, I don't have a problem with that aspect. But yeah.
Will Yum, member for 9 months. It looks like the CW made the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
All right. Sam Spurgeon. This trailer needs to be hooked to a truck and hauled off to a landfill. Aaron Charman. Notice how they seem to focus on Sue rather than Mr. Fantastic. All All right. Kaylee for 10. The Fantastic Four is supposed to be about family, but these characters in the trailer don't feel like a family. It's like the chemistry between the four of the actors is non-existent. The Guns for 5.
Hey.
Female Silver Surfer looks like Jocasta, or she was frozen in carbonite. Horseman 499. 499. Fantastic Four comes from TV creators. That was the first red flag.
Yeah.
Big Marv, remember for 7 months, I just feel like that villains lately don't scare me ever. They try to make me understand them instead of fear them. That's right. Galactus just doesn't feel menacing, even though he's super large. Yeah. Goober, remember for 28 months. Robert Rodriguez on Lex Friedman's 3+ hour film school. Very good. Jim T, the Silver Surfer looks like a hood ornament.
Yeah.
A.D. Ellis, the more I see this trailer, the less excited I get. Yes.
Well, when I was in Vegas, I went to Area 15, and they had a display there that looked like a better female Silver Surfer than what I saw. And here it is from my adventures yesterday. The
hey now,
weird statue, and I was like, oh, that looks better than what we saw in. Yeah, it looks like the hood ornament. There you go. So,
did you guys do John Wick again? Is that the deal?
I did not do John Wick. Thinking about it, though. Thinking about it. Okay. Apparently, is there a banner for the Superman thing? Lori, could you create one? This is a behind-the-scenes first look at Superman. Let me share screen here. We'll probably get hit with this one, but this literally just dropped. And we are going to watch it. We're going to watch it here, Alan, and ready to react to this?
Yes.
Okay. As part of our Superman behind the scenes video. All right. Well, I haven't seen this. This literally just dropped just now. Here we go. Again, this whole thing kicks off. It's all about James Gunn. God dang it. How about talk to David Cornsweet? How about talk to fans?
How about show us Superman doing something super?
Marketing approach is just not well thought out. I think I already we're 20 seconds in. How many more times will we hear James Gunn's name?
Look, I respect him. I think he could pull this off. But yes, I don't need to see him in everything. He's becoming the Pedro Pascal of behind the scenes.
Yeah, here we go. I really don't like that the Superman suit is ill-fitting. Do you see it's like creases up? Like it's not form-fitting. It just like when
your suit. It's like a suit jacket that's a little too big, and your body moves around from underneath it.
Yeah, like when you saw Henry Cavill, I don't think there were any creases. Like it just was his body, and this suit just crumbles. It looks like cosplay.
Yeah, well,
and they are. Everything is James Gunn. It's funny, and I like James Gunn.
I know.
I like him a lot. I'm a fan, and I think he's got a great track record. If anyone can pull it off, it's him. But I want to see the focus on the story, and I haven't seen it as yet. Why do I care about Clark, Lois, the world of Metropolis? Give me more.
I just want to see something that says you understand Superman.
Yeah,
and that you're doing it right, and we have not gotten that yet. Especially that clip from CinemaCon at the Fortress of Solitude. It's like he's prone the entire time. I want to just have the confidence that Superman is Superman.
Yeah.
I will say though, Rachel Brosnahan brightens up every scene she's in.
I like her.
Yeah.
Let's go to comments here.
Naveen for 40. What are 40 rupees, I think. Okay, that Fantastic Four trailer changed my mind. I'm in. Okay.
Well, I'll see it no matter what, but I'm not as optimistic. But thank you.
Yeah, we're seeing Thunderbolts in 2 weeks. Mob 19001. James Gunn.
Yep.
Mr. Maestro, Mayor for 4 months. I so want to like this, but it's nauseating how it's all about James Gunn. Gunn is not Superman, which is why my butt will be in the seat.
Yep.
ADL's 24. How often does Superman dye his hair? Is he a spokesman for Just for Men?
Yes. Well, the hair looks good. They got the hair right.
Yeah. It's got to be jet black. One Punch Man Tolkien fan. In James Gunn we trust. I mean, the interviews were all about James Gunn too. In that.
Yeah. Notice that.
Jimmy, Uncle Jimmy. I will say I am definitely excited for this movie.
Yeah, I hope we see maybe a trailer that gives us a glimpse of the story. But yeah.
Or I could be more excited after watching these.
Right. Okay, we've got more news here. Let me get to this. Star Wars Starfighter. Alan, did you know that happening as we speak in Japan is Star Wars Celebration? Did you know that was happening?
I did when I woke up and looked on X. Yes, I guess it's happening.
And there was an announcement of a Ryan Gosling-led project, Star Wars project, from the Star Wars account. As a wise scoundrel once said, Star Wars Starfighter, a standalone Star Wars film, comes to theaters Memorial Day 2027. There's a short video clip here that I'll show and I will share with you. Let me cue it up here. Here we are. Let's go. Full screen, go.
Ryan, I'm a little distracted, honestly, by your hat.
You get a close-up of the hat?
Get a close-up of the hat.
Do you want to tell us what it says, Ryan?
I think it's just exactly the advice that we need as we embark on this journey. I think it's going to be a bit of a touchstone for us.
Yeah.
Because obviously you take on Star Wars, you take on something that's this beloved. It's intimidating. There's, you're scared, you're nervous, you want to get it right. But we have a feeling that with this story, with this collaboration, we can get it right. So we don't want anyone to tell us the odds. We're just going to do it.
Right.
Yeah. His hat says, "Never tell me the odds."
Mm-hmm.
But he's not playing Han Solo. So I find it unusual. There's more to this. So let me share also from X here. Another short clip with Ryan Gosling. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the other side as I share this. But I didn't even know that this was happening. Star Wars Celebration. Completely forgot. Let's watch this.
But is there a message that you want to share with the fans? In this moment when you're first just stepping into this journey.
I think the Force is a mysterious thing, but I think as I'm here, I feel like the Force is the fans, and I think all we can hope for is that may the fans be with us.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I like Ryan Gosling a lot. He was great as Ken. I think he overshadowed Margot Robbie in that movie, to be honest. His popularity. I've always liked him in First Man when he played Neil Armstrong. He was great. I don't know. I just like him in everything. He's not overtly political at all. Doesn't really take a stand. He does his job. He's a nice guy off screen. Mm-hmm. But that's what you get for a Canadian. I don't care about this movie. I think it also is a very uninspired title. Star Wars Starfighter. It's like a dollar store Star Wars movie project title. Star Wars Starfighter. I wonder if there's a Starfighter in the movie. Also, it's standalone. It's not part of any continuing adventures or lore or anything. I'm sure there'll be a million cameos. I think it's very generic. It's very Disney. The title of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is Mandalorian and Grogu, is also boring. boring. It's a boring title for what will be probably a very good yet generic Star Wars movie. It's Ryan Gosling with a Star Wars movie skin. And I wonder if this movie will even happen. I said that too. I posted, is this movie even going to happen? Because the Rey movie, why aren't they out showing a teaser for the Rey movie? Did we get a Rey movie announcement? Not yet. I feel like
here.
announcements.
Yeah, I'll share something. Go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay, here. Look at this.
Sure.
This is from the Star Wars account. Star Wars films by James Mangold, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, Taika Waititi, and a trilogy by Simon Kinberg are in ongoing development. And there's Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni making that announcement.
They're in ongoing development. Here's what I think. That Star Wars projects are so prohibitively expensive. And we're going to talk about Andor season 2 later in the show. Alan and I have seen the first several episodes. I think they have been so bloated and over budget and mismanaged that Kathleen Kennedy cannot get a movie greenlit. I'm surprised Mandalorian and Grogu, but basically they took, whatever the next season was going to be and just decided, well, that's just, we'll cobble that together into a movie. But knowing that Andor season 2 cost $650 million, I mean, my God. And you know what? It looks very expensive. It looks amazing. But I am very doubtful this will happen. But I think it's more likely to happen than the Rey movie. Alan, what do you think?
I think that if you remove Star Wars from the Star Wars Starfighter movie, it'll probably be a really good movie. And again, it just speaks to, you're just going to throw in Star Wars stuff and hope that that's enough to boost it, give it another $100 million at the box office. So this comes out in 2 years. So next year we're getting Mandalorian and Grogu. The year after that we're going to get Starfighter. Do you remember the feeling you had after watching Empire Strikes Back, knowing it would come out 3 years later?
Yeah,
that was the ultimate. Yeah, it was the ultimate in the cliffhanger because they left you hanging for years until finally Return of the Jedi came back. This one, I don't care. I'm gonna have to wait a year to see Mandalorian and Grogu. Oh, whoopee! And then after this one, another year. Star Wars is slowly dying, and they're making, it's like it's on life support, and they're doing the little things they can to keep it going. And I just don't know how much longer it can go. Look, I think of all the news to come out of Star Wars Celebration, this is probably the best news I've heard.
Well, guess what? If you haven't gotten your fill of Pedro Pascal today, I'm about to give you more. Here is from Star Wars Celebration in Japan. Yay!
He's got his cell phone out.
There you go. There you go. There's they appeared there, and there's an article from the Hollywood Reporter. I will bring this up about Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't know how excited people are to see what was supposed to be season 3 of The Mandalorian. From the Hollywood Reporter Heat Vision column, The Mandalorian and Grogu action-heavy footage brings Baby Yoda to the big screen at Star Wars Celebration. You can, it has been being removed from everywhere online, but the
bootleg,
the footage did leak. You can find descriptions of it. Alan, would you give us the crux of this story from the Reporter?
Sure. At Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo, Lucasfilm and Disney gave fans a thrilling look at The Mandalorian and Grogu, the upcoming Star Wars film set to hit theaters on May 22nd, 2026. directed by Jon Favreau and co-written with Dave Filoni. The movie continues the stories of Din Djarin and Grogu, spinning off from the hit Disney Plus series. The exclusive footage revealed was action-packed and cinematic in scale. It opened with stormtroopers gearing up for a battle inside an AT-AT walker, setting a tense, high-stakes tone. The clear homage to the original 1977 Star Wars. The Mandalorian slices through the walker's hull and launches into a continuous, intense sequence, blasting, stabbing, and using pyrotechnics as he battles his way through the troopers. The sequence ends with Din Djarin reaching the cockpit, which shuts just before he can enter, leaving the audience on edge. Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver, a new addition to the cast, joined Favreau on stage to enthusiastic applause, along with an animatronic BDX droid and a crowd-pleasing appearance from Grogu himself. Pedro Pascal rubbed himself up against that Grogu. Favreau reflected on the influence of Japanese cinema in Star Wars, calling the Tokyo event a homecoming. The film marks the franchise's return to the big screen since 2019, The Rise of Skywalker, and will reportedly feature characters from other Disney Plus series like Ahsoka and Rebels. It also represents Disney's bold move to bring a beloved streaming story into theaters, aiming to satisfy longtime fans while attracting new ones.
I predict this will be Jangling Keys, the movie. Yeah. Easter eggs, the movie. It's going to be, and probably an appearance by Han, Luke, and Leia being reunited in a brief scene using AI and deepfake technology of a young Han, Luke, and Leia. These are my predictions because that's all that really they have. That's all really they have. So I couldn't be less excited.
Yeah. I really have not been following The Mandalorian. I barely made it through season 3. I'm just not. There's nothing about this that really interests me. The other thing that bothers me is if you go to a Disney store at downtown Disney, there's a Star Wars store, and Grogu has replaced Yoda completely.
Yeah.
In fact, if you go in there, I think it's changing now. But the last time I was at that store, the old Star Wars is gone. Lucas Star Wars is gone. It's all been replaced by Disney Star Wars, and therefore the store sucks.
Let's go to comments here.
Geek64, I will never see Star Wars Starfighter. Lucasfilm just likes to announce movies, not making them.
Yeah, I agree.
Uncle Jimmy became a YouTube member.
Yeah, lots of new members.
Welcome aboard. The Richards Art became a YouTube member. REG, member for 3 months. Ryan is Han Solo's other illegitimate kid.
Yeah, seems like it.
Ben H, member for 2 months. I thought Taika's Star Wars was canned too. No thanks. Yeah, they didn't mention Rian Johnson on that list.
They've got all these projects they've announced. The more projects announced than made.
They're in ongoing development. Naveen, gotta give to Disney. They know how to kill a franchise. Yes, they do.
There you go. All right. We have one more topic before we get to all of our reviews today. Toy Story 5. First of all, also name a 5th movie in a series that's great. Can you name the 5th film in a franchise that is a great movie?
I can't. The closest I can come to is John Wick 4.
Well, it's not a 5, but whatever. Here, we've got
ads.
Woody and I do realign. Tim Allen shares some exciting Toy Story 5 plot details that are beyond exciting. Shares. Okay. Well, what is the crux of this story, Alan? Tell me.
Here we go.
Slider.
Tim Allen recently shared an exciting update on Toy Story 5, the first installment since 2019's heartfelt Toy Story 4, sure. I can quote, I can tell you that it's a lot about Jesse. Woody and I do realign, and there's an unbelievable opening scene with Buzz Lightyears. I can give you that, but I can't give you much more. While careful not to reveal too much, he confirmed that Woody and Buzz would reunite, teasing an unbelievable opening sequence for Buzz and a stronger focus on Jessie, hinting at a bigger role for the beloved cowgirl. Pixar's Pete Docter praised director Andrew Stanton's unique approach, suggesting the film will offer fresh surprises while still honoring the legacy set for release on June 19, 2026. The film promises a thrilling new chapter for the iconic toys.
Well, I don't really care. I think Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending. It was a great ending to the franchise. I don't think you need this at all. Jesse, who would have predicted that the female, Woody would be the focus? I never would have guessed that. Alan, you're a huge Disney Pixar fan. What do you think?
Yeah, after 3, the other movies should have just gone to Disney Plus, been made for TV movies. And this one certainly sounds that way. Disney's got to do what Disney's got to do. The only thing I can say is hopefully with the change in direction that came from Inside Out 2, in terms of staying away from non-woke, hopefully that continues. But focus on Jesse. Of course they are.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. Let's go to comments here.
Robert for 5. Hey, Chris, it was great meeting you yesterday at the meetup. Can't wait for you guys to review my film, 15 Days. Keep being awesome. Alan.
Thank you, Robert. That's great. Yeah, it's great to meet like indie filmmakers that, know they have a place to get their movies reviewed at Film Threat. We do that thing.
All right. Ronnie Enrique says, Fast 5. Was Fast 5 a good 5?
Maybe.
Okay. I don't remember it either. Lord Thoth, isn't Empire Strikes Back episode 5?
Yes. Well, in the chronology of Star Wars, it is episode 5, but it is actually, in fact, the second Star Wars movie. In fact, when that movie was announced, you know what they called it? Star Wars 2.
Mm-hmm.
They called the movie Star Wars 2 until it had a title. And the episode 5 thing came out like just a few months before the movie opened. Weird, I know.
Yeah. But if you look at the technical episode 5, Attack of the Clones, to me, that's the worst of the 6 films.
Well, it's bottom tier for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Matthew, yes, Mission Impossible Fallout was great. Oh, there you go. There's a 5.
Well, that there is a 5 then.
There's a 5.
That actually makes sense. So there you go. All right. In keeping with Star Wars news, Alan, you have the posters?
Lori does. Atomic Lori.
No, you didn't check the private chat.
No, I asked her for backup.
Okay. Can we get the posters up?
Yes. There you go.
Let's do this. All right. Keeping with Star Wars, Andor Season 2. This is our early reaction to the first 3 episodes. Alan and I have both seen them. This, of course, is the continuing story of Cassian Andor and the growing resistance. The first episode begins with the title screen BBY 4. This is 4 years before the Battle of Yavin. So, and each 3 episodes covers like a year leading up to the rebellion, the launch of the rebellion, and the first Death Star. So there you go.
I should correct you. It covers a couple days in a year, and then jumps a year later.
Yes, and the highlights of events, let's say, in that year. Right. So it's 4 years leading to, and this will be the Andor Season 2 is it for this property. I think that Cassian Andor is very uninteresting. He's kind of weightless. Maybe a dollar store Han Solo. Not that interesting. The first episode opens with Cassian Andor stealing a TIE fighter with the help of an insider who I want to say this as politely as possible.
Oh no. Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
She is very body positivity, like a large frame. She looks like current day Star Wars fan, female Star Wars fan. With she's a big bottom girl. She's Jabba in shape. I'm not making this up. And it was so distracting. I'm like, how did you get in the military? You just are, I'm just going to say it, fat. This fat insider that helps Cassian Andor steal a TIE fighter. And he takes off in this TIE fighter, crash lands on a planet where he is then taken captive by a group of diverse freedom fighters. Yeah. And I could not care less about the events happening. Let me just say, we can only give our early reaction. Here's what I will say. Defenders of Andor will say this. Andor, it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. You know what's not a slow burn? Star Wars. Star Wars was never a slow burn. Star Wars was, in the words of director George Lucas, faster, more intense. Faster, faster. This is weightless. This is conversations that don't really matter. Like with all the conflict involving Mon Mothma, she's having conversations where she's having dinner parties. It reminded me of when my mom used to watch like old shows with there would be like British melodramas, British period melodramas. And I would say, oh, is this another episode of The Borings? And she would laugh. And that's what this is. Costume melodrama, weightless events, characters that don't matter, in a world where characters exist that we do care about. Like Princess Leia, where is she? She exists in this world. Han Solo is a young smuggler. He exists in this world. Now, credit to them for not throwing them in as key jangling. But I got to say, what they've introduced as new, I don't care about. I really don't care. And but there's one thing this series does well, better than maybe anything we've seen in Star Wars: the production design. It looks better than almost anything Star Wars in terms of the production design and the effects. That TIE Fighter steal sequence it's amazing. They showed the entire clip. You can find it online. They released.
You mean the best thing of the entire series?
So far.
Yeah.
So we will do a full review next Wednesday after Alan and I watch. At least I will watch a couple
more episodes.
But the thing is, I just don't think. I think this will be even less reviewed or less seen in season 1. I don't think the Disney Plus series have been that impressive, and purportedly the whole season cost $650 million.
That can't be true.
Look it up.
Oh
it's true. I mean, and by the way, it does look expensive.
Yeah,
this is way better than The Acolyte. Way better. I mean, they really had a look, and this is serious. I just don't think it's Star Wars. To me, this is something else, and something else could be exciting. But for me, this did not work. What I've seen so far is less than impressive. Alan, your early reaction.
My early reaction. So I am one of the defenders of Andor season 1. I did like Andor season 1. It was interesting. Stories being told were thought-provoking, and it had some momentum from first episode to the end. This one feels like it starts, in the middle. You're reading a book, and in the middle is that long, boring part. That's where Andor starts. The TIE Fighter sequence that you mentioned is the best thing I've seen so far. I was kind of excited watching it because there's this sense of, when I watch Star Wars, there's the scenes with people and then there's the scenes with starships. This one blends the two together, and that's what I really liked about it. But then it just gets into just 3 stories I'm having trouble following and having trouble caring about. Mon Mothma is marrying off her daughter. I'll just give general plot points. There's Andor lands with some rebels who can't get along, and then there's the whole Death Star thing. And I think that there's an ambitiousness to Tony Gilroy here, where he's kind of playing off of the bureaucracy taking down the Empire versus the infighting of the rebels. To me, those are interesting concepts for this story, but I'm just so bored that I'm just not. And there's also a third story about some farmers who are visited by the Empire, and I will call that the Rebel Moon portion of Andor, because it feels a whole lot like Rebel Moon.
And by the way, and just to put a pin in this, we know the fates of all these characters.
Everyone lives.
Well, not everyone lives, and which is why the events seem so pointless.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is when you do a prequel like this, you got to hit upon interesting ideas that led up to the ultimate end. And this idea that the Empire is bogged down by bureaucracy, it's a good idea, but I just don't think they're handling it right. And again, I just don't care. And I understand why people don't like Daredevil Born Again. Again, we binged it. So once one story ended, we went into the other one, and there was a good momentum that I felt I had with that one. This one, I can't even get that. And I do have the ability to binge all of these. After episode 1, I was bored, and after seeing episode 3, I'm on the verge of getting lost. And that's my problem with this series so far.
Let's go to comments here.
Benjamin for 199. Alan, happy Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to you. I will be revisiting The Passion this weekend. I still think it's one of the best films so far this century. What are your thoughts on the film 20 years later? I have tried to avoid that movie just because I know. Look, I have a master's degree in Christian education. I've been to seminary. I know exactly what happened to Jesus. I don't know that I want to see it, but I understand it's a very powerful movie, and so to me, it's I hate to say it, it's like torture porn.
Benjamin gave a very generous 999.
999. Thank you for that. Trish Page for 5.
Hey, Trish.
Yes. Hey, nice to watch this while working and getting ready for a busy weekend. Put 5 on Black 27. Oh, on Black 27 for me. Hail.
27, a lucky number. Thank you, Trish.
27 Black. Salvatore. Spoiler alert: he dies in the end. Well, he dies in the.
That's true.
In the end. Rated M for 199. Watch Vader episode 2 trailer. Looks great. Bill S. Preston Esquire. Is she bigger than the X-Wing pilot from the Trench Run? Geek True 64. Andor is at least interesting. Andor is the least interesting character in his own series.
Yeah.
Razorbird. The barley field takes me out of the Star Wars look. Yeah. The Introspect M, the sequel to the prequel of the story of the most boring man in the Star Wars universe.
That's true. That's true. All right. We have a lot of films to review, so let's get to them. Alan, did you see Sneaks?
I did see Sneaks.
You did?
Yeah, I did the double feature. Look, while you were in Vegas, I saw The Wedding Banquet and I saw Sneaks.
Tell me about Sneaks. Oh my God.
Well, we'll get through this quick because, look, it's the story of two sneakers. This kid living in a low-income family has horrible basketball shoes. It's ruining his game. He goes to Sneakageddon, I think that's what it's called, and he enters a raffle and wins a pair of Achilles 24s, the greatest shoes ever made. And but he's approached by a collector voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, who wants those shoes. This is pretty much Toy Story 2. The kid takes it home. The collector comes, uses his trusty dog to help him steal the shoes. And like Toy Story 2, the sneakers come to life. The sneakers are then separated. The female sneaker, Maxine, is sent to a lab where she is going to be cloned. She's going to be forged by the forger to become a forgery so that he can replicate these things. And then Ty, the other sneaker, is lost in urban New York and must find his way to rescue Maxine and learn valuable lessons along the way. So the story, you just heard it. Enough said. The animation on this one is not that great. I don't know. There has to be a certain quality level, I feel, that animation has to be before it goes to theatrical or before it's played in theaters. This is more of a DVD Blu-ray style animation. It's very simplistic. Buildings are boxes with textures on it, essentially. It's just, it's like, you just graduated from, you just took a class on computer animation. Let's just be generous. A 3-year class on computer animation, and this is what you have. It's very simplistic. It's very uninteresting in terms of animation. This is definitely for the young set, the under 10 set. I think the flashing images, the good message is enough to get by, but this is, I can't see you really packing your kids up to see this one. Go see King of Kings instead.
Well, I mean, anthropomorphized shoes. We're running out of things to anthropomorphize. Mm-hmm. You add like human aspect to an inanimate object or animal or whatever.
Yeah.
So like
it has that same conceit that I'm sorry, it has that same conceit that Toy Story has, where the shoes run around, and then when they hear someone come back, they have to go back into position. Except until they go out into the real world. And apparently there are abandoned shoes. There are hundreds of thousands of abandoned shoes wandering the streets of New York. And there's a level in which you create an idea, create rules, and then go out and immediately break them. And that's what this story is.
Is there a character that's a pair of sneakers hanging like tied up and hanging?
Yeah, you can see in the poster. You can see in the poster, it's those 3 there, and they're kind of the Greek chorus of the movie. They're the ones who comment on the actions that are happening in the movie.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, it's got a star-studded cast. I mean, Anthony Mackie, Matthew Lawrence, Macy Gray, who else? Lawrence Fishburne, Chris Paul is in it. It's got an impressive cast. It's just weird to me that it's in such that they're lending their voices to such a low-quality animated film.
Yeah. It's it's already a pass for me once I saw the poster. Alan, do you recommend Sneaks?
No, I don't.
Even for like single-digit age kids?
Yeah, if you have single-digit age kids and you need to go somewhere, take them somewhere where you can just relax and sleep in the recliner seat at the theater, this is a good movie for that.
All right. Let's go to comments. And Alan, if you could read these comments, I'm going to leave and come back because the internet is bad for me. So I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Starting with Chicken Wing for $1.99. Excuse me. Gosh, I love you guys. You get me through shit days. Well, you're welcome for that. Geek Crew 64. Sneaks look like the animated version of Little Mike with Little Bow Wow. Are they either of them in this? No. Let's see. Here we go. Thomas Pickett for 5. I wonder if Sneaks needed deals with shoemakers to show specific shoes in the movies. You know, they didn't. There's no name brand shoe in the movie. Let's see. BMO Better. I bet this movie has no soul to it. And when you see the movie, make sure your drinks are laced. Solomon Thornton, just let kids see Like Mike film. All right. Uncle Remus, a movie made for children with a learning disability. Sneaks. All right. Jean Hu gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Bill W. The premise of this movie aggravates me for some reason. Yeah, I mean, watching the movie and just following the story, it just, I don't know. It just like the animation, it just needed a little more experience behind it. Very basic plot. All right. Steve Z for 499. Thank you. Alan, did they show the Chinese ladies that made those sneakers? No, they didn't. And I don't know how you show that. Okay. S. Wilson, 1973. I check films first before letting kids anywhere near them. It's a shame that we cannot trust these films to just be films. You know, the thing is, especially when Strange World came out, when Lightyear came out, it was, you know, certainly parents would take kids to see any animated movie, regardless of the quality, bad, good, whatever. Big bonus if the parents liked it. But when Strange World and Lightyear came along, it introduced subject matters that parents rightfully should have been the first to introduce to their children. And I remember someone telling me, you know, someone who ran a theater, you know, the new Disney movie's coming out. Is it safe? And that's what Disney movies became. You know, you didn't know whether or not what your kids were going to take in. The worst thing that this movie does is your kid is going to see a bad story and subpar animation. So, and sometimes that's enough just to get the kids out of the house. All right. Moving on. Texifier. I'd go see Sneaks, but I'm all tied up. Haha. All right. Yeah, Lori, if you can get me more here. Fried French Moon member for 15 months. Death of Snow White was a fun film threat moment. Yeah, is it? I guess it was out. Okay, here we go. Solomon Thornton, still haven't recovered. I still haven't recovered when my parents let me see Watership Down as a kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, that Jaws movie we're talking about, same thing. Kids, parents taking kids to see shark movies. All right, Lori, if you could help me out here. Let's see. All right, Charles Harrison, Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord is coming. Fizzle. Again, I don't care. I saw that. I don't care. It's ADLS24. Matthew Lawrence is still a star in Alan's eyes. What is it? 1998? Sorry, did I say Martin Lawrence is what I was trying to say. Sorry. Naveen. So are all the sneakers voiced by Chinese actors since they were surely made in China? Yeah. Look, I'll say this: Chinese animation is so much better than this. Daniel B. Tagline: If the shoe fits. Let's see. Geek True 64. This is going to theaters. Thought it was a Netflix streaming movie. Looks like Chris is taking some time to get back. Look, I could review another boring movie if you want. Basically just to kill time before Chris gets here. If you'd like to hear a boring review, let me know. Put in the chat. Yes, in the chats. If not, I'll keep reading comments here. Let's see. Did I get that one? Yeah, it looks like I feel like Chris is just rebooting things. Just do it. I'm not doing the Wedding Banquet here. Let's do Grand Tour, because I know none of you are gonna watch this movie. Grand Tour comes from. Let me see. Let me get the details right here. But it's a Spanish production, but it takes place in Rangoon. Grand Tour. I saw this at Palm Springs Film Festival, International Film Festival, and it's one of those movies where I wish the idea of it worked better. I wish that the filmmakers, whatever was in their mind, that they had made it a better film, put a little more effort and time into it. Instead, what is the runtime of this movie? All I know, it's very long. It's 129 minutes, and it really should be 80 minutes. But here's the basic plot. It's 1918 in Rangoon. The British, it's a British territory. They oversee the country. One of the colonial servants named Edward, he has been living there for a long time. He is betrothed to the beautiful Molly. It's the day of their wedding is coming up. Molly decides to hop on a boat and come to Rangoon and surprise Edward and get married. Edward gets word of this and just takes off. He hops on a train. The words he says is, I can't remember what she looks like. And this entire movie, all well over 2 hours of it, is just Molly chasing Edward and the adventures that they go on. Edward goes all throughout Rangoon, meets people, goes on a Ferris wheel, sees a puppet show, and then Molly on the same hand does the same thing and then follows her through. The film is shot like an old black and white movie. And, it's got those transitions with the circle kind of going into the center, going to black. It's all done on a sound stage. And because they didn't have footage of Rangoon at that time, what they decided to do was take research footage from other filmmakers and insert that into the movie. So as you have a transition from one scene to the next, or when they go to a specific city, you'll see a modern color, cutscene of B-roll footage of that city. But the whole movie is Edward running away and then Molly chasing him. And at some point in the film, the obvious question is asked, Molly, if he doesn't want to marry you, why are you chasing after him? And after an hour and 45 minutes, she realizes that. Look, it's a foreign film. It's an indie film. It's a low budget film. I wish it was a better movie. I cannot recommend it. It just feels like if I were a director and I made a movie, it would look just like this, which says a whole lot. So no recommendation here for, as Bill S. Preston Esquire says, Woman is Crazy Stalker, the movie. All right, let's see if any of you have any kind of comment for this one. Suns and Shadows. Now I want Crab Rangoon. Very good. Mob 19001. When is it so many film festivals logos on the poster? This is the thing. This movie has been appearing in so many film festivals. Palm Springs International. I believe Locarno is on there. Sydney Film Festival. Oh yeah, it played at Cannes. There's this pretentiousness. This is an art film, and I guess we're supposed to like art films, but like the Emperor's New Clothes, we kind of see through this stuff. What the hell did we just see? And why is it that these elite artists see something that we don't see? All right. 80 Ellis 24. So it's before sunrise, but staged like a stage play set in the 1910s. Yes, exactly. And does it at least show scenery of Rangoon? Yes, it does, but it's modern footage. So you have the main story that's shot in black and white, and then the interstitials are these modern color B-rolls of Rangoon. And yeah, there you go. So I reviewed Grand Tour while you were gone.
Great.
All right. Just because you were taking forever to get back.
Well, I have no internet. Somehow the internet is out in the hotel. I'm on my phone.
Okay. Well, it looks good. It's just shaky.
Can't be helped.
Okay.
So, all right. And you keep popping out for me.
Yeah. I'll run things. All right. What movie would you like to talk about next?
Let's do Sinners, man.
All right. Here we go. Just waiting for that poster. There we go. All right. Chris, do you want to tell us about Sinners? Or do you want me to tell us about
you go ahead.
All right, here we go. Sinners takes place
Give us the basic story, because the trailer doesn't tell you much.
Okay. Well, we talked about it a little bit last week, but it takes place in 1932 Mississippi. A young Sammy Moore is a blues guitarist who wants to play music, but he lives under the thumb of his conservative Christian pastor father. In comes his cousins Smoke and Stack, who are both played by Michael B. Jordan, and they are former military, and they are also former enforcers in Chicago. And they come to Mississippi to open a juke joint. A kind man sells them property, a barn, and they have a day to turn it into a juke joint. And so the two go out, split up. Stack takes Sammy with them, and they go get supplies, and they get musicians, and they spread the word about it. And in there's Haley Steinfeld, who plays, I believe it's Stack's a lover he engaged with and then left. And then Smoke, there's a woman he is in love with, and he came to visit her and hopes to rekindle that romance. Meanwhile, at the nightclub, things are going great. A lot of blues being played, a lot of drinking going on, and then they are visited by three visitors who happen to be vampires, and that's where the fun begins. Chris, what did you think of Sinners?
Well, you failed to mention the three visitors are white.
Yes, they are,
and they play a decidedly different music, and they're turned away. They are not invited in, and they're turned away. And it's kind of like, hey, read the room. This isn't your kind of place. So they're set off, but it's a group of vampires that descend on the place in kind of a assault on Precinct 13, or from dusk, more like From Dusk Till Dawn. So, which is a film that I really like. So, I don't know. I can't see you, Alan. I don't know if you can see me.
I can see you. You're fine. Yeah.
So
I mean,
there you go.
Let's see.
I had some issues with this movie. I think it's juggling too much. I think there are three main stories, and they don't really converge as one would hope. I know it's being praised and getting like great reviews, but and I like the vampire aspect. I like that the movie respects the rules of a vampire, and that uses them in a very clever way. When people become vampires, their eyes glow in the dark like a dog or an animal. That works really well. But by the end, it kind of lost me in some way. I'm going to try to get back online. I'm sorry, Alan, but continue from here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
So,
can you hear me?
You keep falling off for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that a me thing or is that a you thing? Lori, am I breaking up or no? Okay, it's a you thing. Yeah. So I really like Sinners. It is one of my.
I'm going to go and come back, but you
yeah.
You keep talking.
Okay. Here we go. I really did like Sinners. It is one of my favorite movies of the year, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm not a big horror fan, but I'm a fan of good storytelling, and that's what this is. Ryan Coogler, he is, apart from the Black Panther series, he's a great writer. He's a great storyteller, and this is it. As Chris says, I appreciate the fact that they did hold to the lore of the vampires, the rules of vampires. You know, I don't want to get into too much spoilers yet. We will spoil this movie in our discussion, but a lot. I kind of, it's the thing I like most about it is the fact that you have these three characters, Sammy, Smoke, and Stack, and they have very different stories, and those stories play out in interesting ways, especially when the vampires come, and I like, it's just, I like stories with well-defined characters, and you have this whole movie is just full of well-defined characters, and then add on top of that, it is a beautiful movie. It is shot on IMAX cameras. I got to see it in IMAX. It's shot on film too, which is a big deal. The setting, the natural setting of this location is gorgeous. And then there's the whole vampire stuff. There's a moment where the big battle happens, and you see the IMAX screen just open up, and you see the battle in big IMAX. Yeah. Do you want to say anything else before we get into spoilers?
Yeah, we should put up a spoiler warning, because the problem.
Do you want to do it now, or do you want to say anything else before it?
I for the most part like this movie as a vampire movie, and I will say this: it's probably Ryan Coogler's best movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being held back by Marvel or Disney or being told what to do. This is his original story. It's a horror film that with an element behind. This is really why they didn't make the Blade movie. This is the best current Blade movie ever made.
Can I talk a moment about the power of Ryan Coogler?
Yeah, go ahead. And then I want to get into spoilers.
So the movie was made in less than a year, last year. And it was basically Ryan Coogler wrote this script, and he said, I want to make this movie, and I want to make it now. And that's the power he had, because he was immediately able to get funding for this movie. He was able to get casting real quick. The movie was shot at lightning speed, produced at lightning speed, and it's just a testament to a guy who is a great storyteller and understands that story and put that story on film. And it's a testament to the fact that he is such a good storyteller that people implicitly trust him to tell a good story.
Well, okay, but let's get into the problems I had.
Okay.
Right up until the end, when the movie has like 3 endings that extend through the credits, right? The credits, and there's a mid credit, and there's a lot to this with the endings. And I feel like Jeremy Johns put it best recently. He said the problem with modern movies is they feel the need to comment on one of 3 things: Trump, feminism / girl bossery, or racism. Not in a way that is the subtext to a movie, but in a way that is overt and obvious. And in the ending of this movie, it drives the point home. I had no problem with the 3 white musicians being turned away. Read the room. This isn't your kind of place. Whatever. They turn out to be vampires. The place is overrun with vampires. Tragic events. It's a great setup. It wasn't overt. In the very end, and spoilers, this is a major spoiler. There is a extra scene where a bunch of white people, effectively the Klan, not in Klan gear, show up in the early morning and are mowed down with a machine gun by Michael B. Jordan's character. It just seems very overt to me. And I really liked it up until this ending that's like just drives home the point. There's also a sort of veiled commentary on cultural appropriation, right? Jazz music, the musician, right? His storyline. So while I liked, say, 90% of the movie, I feel like it kind of ruins itself. You can, because everything before that is sort of underneath the surface. And the ending is like, hey, in case you didn't understand what I was making comments on, I'm going to take a hammer and hit you over the head. And that's where it kind of lost me. So I would still recommend the movie,
but leave
honestly.
early.
But yeah, if I didn't see that ending, I probably would have really liked it a lot more. It's kind of like the director getting up and saying, just in case you didn't know what this movie was about, racism. And then it's like, okay, I get it. Does every movie have to comment on racism, feminism, and Trump? It's distracting. And that's the reason I had problems with this movie. And so what do you think about that?
Yeah. Okay. So up until that moment, the movie wasn't about racism. Movie had racist elements in it, but it wasn't about.
It was subtext.
It was subtext, but you expect that from a movie that takes place in Jim Crow South in the 1930s.
Sure.
You can't avoid that. It's like showing a Holocaust movie and saying, well, it's about anti-Semitism. You know, it's right. That's the nature of it. It has to be there. So the thing that balanced it off in that main story is that the vampires were not racist. The vampires were vampires. The first victims just happened to be white people. Right. And when you see how that plays out, because look, it plays out in a very interesting way that I don't know that I want to spoil it, but it's like church. It's like the accepting nature of church. And that church went beyond race, went beyond gender, went beyond everything. It was about the fellowship of humans or fellowship of vampires. Right. To me, that was the balancing moment to say that this is not a movie about racism. But it is. But the scene that you refer to refers to the fact that the guy that they bought, that Smoke and Stack bought the barn from, was actually a Klan member, and I was okay with the scene. In fact, it was pretty amazing in terms of, you know, we didn't have the gunplay and everything up until that point, because it took place in 1930s Jim Crow South. These guys had been ripped off by this guy, and that it's not like, you know, the plan was for these Klan members to come in the next day and shoot up the barn and kill everybody. And this was his chance. Look, okay, spoiler. I know we're saying spoiler, but let's just say that Smoke had lost a lot, and he has lost everything. And his last moment of glory was to take out an army of Klan members, and in the end, finally reconnect with his true love. And to me, that's why I'm giving that scene a pass. I didn't find it racist at the time. I didn't find it unusual at the time, but then you understand it. I will grant you that the post-credit scenes, you know, just seem to be tacked on for the sake of being tacked on. But you know, that's his artistic choice. It's still, to me, a great movie, and highly recommended.
Well, I'll give it a recommend in spite of, I'd say, leave early. You'll like the movie more. I just feel like, and Spike Lee has done this too in his films, in Black Klansman. Mm-hmm. Like, the movie's like really great story. It's a great story based on true events. And then he feels the need at the very end of the movie to, like, in case you didn't understand what I was trying to say, he does this long-winded, like explaining the themes of the movie through like real events, and it's like unnecessary. Like, it's like a video essay of what he's trying to say. So
I think you're just reading too much into it, or for some reason I don't think that whole scene was about, hey people, this is all about racism, because I don't think the movie is about racism. It takes place in a time where racism was at high levels. Right. But it's not this is not a lesson to white people to say you're evil, you're blah blah blah, you're this. Because it's very clear in the middle of the movie that, you know, there's this vision of black and white people being able to be together in fellowship and harmony as vampires. And I don't know. I just don't agree with you on the idea that scene was the was the woke moment where Ryan Coogler had to say that white people are bad.
Well, I just think the multiple endings of the movie, I think, were obvious and unnecessary. I think if it just ended with a horrible night and we see who survives, who lives and who dies, that would have been fine. But it aspires to be from dusk till dawn, and I think that movie is the better version. I do like the world building. Ryan Coogler is amazing at world building. Look at Black Panther. That was amazing world building. Built a whole universe where people refer to Wakanda like it's a real country. You know what I mean? So I love the world building. Ryan Coogler should have done Blade. That movie would have gotten made.
That would have been great.
But again, the ending kind of makes it softens it and ultimately disappoints me, but I'm still recommending it. Let's go to comments.
Well, let me just make my final summation on all that. I feel like you're painting the movie as being woke, and it is not woke.
I never used that word.
Yeah, but the way you're describing it to me is the definition of woke. It's to put white people in their place. And I just don't think the ending was meant to put white people in their place.
Well,
but again, not a white person, so I wouldn't know.
I'm saying those endings kind of like it didn't improve the movie. It's better it's the less said, the better.
Yeah.
So I think there was maybe a better way to do it. So.
Yeah. One thing the ending does is it seals the fact that there won't be a sequel.
Yep, probably not.
And that's a good thing.
Let's go to comments.
All right. From Madam Isabel Melvin, when Garata the Fourth saw it last night. Ryan Coogler's best film, not being held down by the MCU. Ryan Coogler should never make an MCU movie ever again because he's above it. Here we go. L for 499. To correct Chris, I didn't see the white vampire as sinners. It's the people in the club who are sinners. Yes.
I never mentioned sinners. I never used that word. I didn't see them as sinners. So correcting me what? You're correcting me on a thing I didn't say.
Or maybe he's making... Oh, okay. Yeah, he was correcting you.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'll test. You didn't say they were sinners. Red French Moon for 5. Are the vampires powerful or are they easy to kill? I like my vampires being powerful and hard to kill, like kind of like Eric from True Blood Level. You should see the movie about that one.
No, I love the rules of vampires. It follows it, really closely, and I love it.
It holds on to it, and I think that's a testament to Ryan Coogler and his passion to keep lore. L for 199. Both you guys are kind of right.
Thank you. I would agree with that.
ADL is 24. In a shock to no one, this is a racial allegory that will say that white vampires still exist today. They're just better at hiding within the Democrat Party. Again, I challenge that. I just don't think that's what they were going for here. Zoomiest, Alan liked a horror movie. I like good horror movies. First name, last name. Why aren't the vampires Asian?
There are other movies that do that.
Well, and there's one. Wes, aside from the vampire aspect, does it feel like an accurate period piece, or does it feel like 2025 dressed up in 1920s clothing and set?
No, it seems accurate to me. Yeah. I thought, like I said, the world building is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Ryan Coogler excels at world building.
I mean, can you imagine making a World War II movie and not killing a bunch of Nazis?
Yes.
I mean, it's of its time. That's why it gets the pass. If it was 2025, there's a big problem there. Barton Bella, in the 1930s, the South, especially Mississippi, it was really racist, and it's okay to admit that.
Well, I'll just say that, there's a lot of diversity, but there's not a lot of diversity amongst the villains. Like the villains of the movie are the vampires, and which later turn out to be diverse. They're all kinds of different kinds of vampires. But the ending, there are humans that are villains, and they're not diverse at all, by design, really. But
yeah, I am become death destroyer of words, stake through the heart, and you're to blame. You give suck a bad name. Ron Enriquez. Film told a great story until it turned into a horror movie. Vampires rule and lore were not well thought out. Saw it on IMAX and the photography was amateurish and disappointing. Oh, come on.
I don't know if I agree with that. But
I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
All right. That's okay. The Vibstra for 5. What were your thoughts on Coogler's commentary on religion in the movie? I felt like Coogler sees himself in Sam. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I again, the world building is top notch. And by the way, that's not an easy thing to do. And he pulls it off flawlessly every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the religious aspect, I mean, that conservative, legalistic, that was kind of the Christianity at that time.
Yeah.
And I thought it was played out well. I thought the redemption aspect of it was played out well as well. All right, L 499. What offsets some of the racial stuff is white culture getting some love. You know the part.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for me.
Texifier. Sinners doesn't know what kind of film it wants to be. Totally all over the place. Yes. Too many stories trying to be told and tries to do too much. And worst of all, it's race bait, pandering, typical shit. I will say the one problem I had, because I knew I had to talk about this movie, was I was constantly getting Smoke and Stack confused.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Is that Smoke or is that Stack?
Yeah, they didn't act different enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go to The Log Lady. Let's talk about that movie. It's a movie I saw, which I don't think you did see, Alan.
I did not see it.
That's okay. I Know Catherine, the Log Lady is a documentary. It is directed by Richard Green. It is about Catherine Coulson, who we know as an actress who played the Log Lady. But there's a lot more you did not know about Catherine. Catherine was a longtime friend to David Lynch. She worked on his first feature, Eraserhead. In fact, there was a scene that was cut where she plays a nurse in Eraserhead, and she never got to be in the movie, but she was friends with David Lynch forever. She was married to Jack Fisk, who worked on a lot of David Lynch movies, and they were longtime friends. And the movie goes into Catherine's life as an artist. She was a performer. She did stage plays. She was in the circus. She was a wrangler of creative types. David Lynch being among them. David Lynch is featured prominently in this documentary. And they both went through transcendental meditation together. They learned it and were very dedicated to that in terms of channeling creativity. It's also Catherine Coulson can really be credited for keeping the fandom of Twin Peaks alive. She was at every convention. She answered letters. She was featured on panels. She drove Twin Peaks fandom. I don't believe that there would have been a Twin Peaks season 3 without Catherine Coulson. And she plays a bit part. She reprises her role as the Log Lady in Twin Peaks season 3 while she was dying. She literally had weeks to live, wasting away, and she did get to play a part in season 3, brief part. And this documentary is a tribute to her. It's also sort of a ghost David Lynch documentary and a Twin Peaks documentary also, if you love those things. I learned things about Catherine. She worked on a lot of movies. She worked on the camera crew of Star Trek II. She was Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. She was the focus puller. That is a hard job on the camera crew. So she worked on a lot of films. She was wildly creative. I mean, her most prominent achievement is playing the Log Lady, but she was an influence to so many creative people. As someone who loves David Lynch and Twin Peaks, I could not rave about this doc enough. In fact, on the website Film Thread, there is a review of this documentary, 9.5. I would give it a 9.5 as well. One of my favorite docs I've seen this year. Could not love it enough. And I learned so much about Catherine, David Lynch's personal life, how he collected groups of weirdly creative people. And this, David and Catherine created the character of the Log Lady. So many of the characters in Twin Peaks, the reason they came to life in such a profound way is they had such deep lore. Each character had a deep lore, and David Lynch loved his characters of this soap opera centered around a town. And the fact that we're still talking about Twin Peaks today is a testament to the power of it. Cannot recommend it enough. It's I believe it's limited release in theaters, coming to VOD. I will own this movie. Just as a Twin Peaks fan and a fan of Lynch, this is great. And it's not about David Lynch, but I learned so many things I didn't know about Lynch because he's not talking about himself. He's talking about other people he worked with and his relationship to them. And that's where I learned so much. So seek this out. Go see it. So happy that this turned out so great. And there you go.
Yeah.
Let's go to comments if there are any.
Yes. Davina Duckworth. I am watching Twin Peaks season 2 right now. R.I.P. Catherine Coulson.
Yeah.
And from a nerd far away, it's log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood.
That was around the same era. That was, Ren and Stimpy. Okay, you reviewed Grand Tour.
Yes. While you were gone.
Yes. Let's save the Shrouds to next week.
Okay.
Because it's just limited now. It expands next week.
Okay.
Let's talk about The Ugly Stepsister. If you would bring that up. Okay. The Ugly Stepsister is a Swedish film directed by Emilie Blichtfeldt, and you will find an interview with her on the Film Threat Interviews channel. It is a retelling of the classic fairy tale Cinderella through the point of view of Elvira. Elvira is one of the ugly stepsisters. Cinderella is, of course, she is Agnes, is her name, Agnes in the film. And we meet these emerged family. The merged family is Rebecca marrying Agnes's father, who drops dead after the marriage. They have nothing, they're penniless, and they find that the young prince will be having a ball soon. And what Rebecca wants is to get her daughter Elvira to marry the prince so their family can have money again and not live penniless. Elvira must go through a series of processes to make herself more attractive to the prince. She gets a nose job, but a nose job back then is they basically break her nose and put her in this device to kind of shape her nose to be more attractive. She eats a tapeworm to lose weight. She's given all this these processes to make her more beautiful. It touches on many of the themes of the substance, standards of beauty for women and how they're valued in society. And this is at a time, it's a period piece, but it's non-specific, right? It's a fairy tale world, and it's so wildly original. It's funny. It's dark sense of humor. It is a horror film but there's aspects of it that are horror comedy. I love this film. One of my favorites this year. It's I wouldn't put it as one of those public domain horror. It's different. It's just a different point of view. And there is, to be warned, not for kids. This is R-rated. There is nudity. There is sex. There is blood. There is, I mean, just watch the trailer. You know what you're getting. The trailer is a bit deceptive. It's in Swedish, Norwegian, and Polish. And I watched this film with someone who knows Swedish, and apparently the translation is fairly accurate. So yeah, Alan, I know you haven't seen this one. You may be put off by the horror aspects,
Yes.
but not the sense of humor is bizarre. So I do regret I did not see this movie in a theater, but I absolutely loved it. Cannot praise it enough. And on our interviews channel, please check out the interview with the director. I thought she did an amazing job. So a recommend for you, Alan.
Yeah. Okay. If I can get to it, I'll see it.
Yeah, but I just think The Substance was one of my favorite movies from last year. So, you know.
Yeah, my thing. I think my thing is it really gory? I know it's body horror, so it must be.
Yes, there are body horror aspects, other aspects, but there's also the fact that these women are penniless, based on the death of, you know, Agnes's father, so-called Cinderella. It follows all of the basic. It hits on all the bullet points of the fairy tale as we know them. This is not your Disney's, you know, Cinderella, but I absolutely loved everything about this film. So seek it out. But I like weird movies. I like weird horror, and so there you go.
Yeah, I'm grossed out by the poster, by the way. All right.
Yes, well, things happen.
All right. Mr. Guillermo, sorry. Chris, not everything is about politics. You have been tainted.
Fair, but I'm just saying that, you know, Jeremy Johns brought this up, not me. This is in reference to Sinners, that it seems as if a lot of movies comment on three main things, and it's tiresome.
I just think it's unfair to assign that to Sinners. All right.
Okay, fair.
Yep. Nerd Far Away says, is this playing on the grimmer aspects of the original tale?
100%.
Negrous Nate. This sounds like Cinderella with human centipede vibes. We can only hope.
It's not that, but there are horror aspects.
And Patrick Lemire, Ozempic is the new tapeworm. Oh my gosh.
That would be a good horror film based on
Ozempic.
That. Let's get to our last review of the day. The Wedding Banquet, Alan, if you would.
Yeah, if you've seen the trailer, you kind of get the gist of the plot. Chris, this is the gayest movie I've seen this year. Chris and Min.
This is definitely the gayest movie.
The gayest movie I've seen. This is so gay. This movie is gay. Chris and Min are in love. Min is the heir to a fashion design conglomerate empire from South Korea. He is living in the United States, in Washington, because he doesn't want to go back to South Korea, and he doesn't want to run the family business. He just wants to be an artist. Meanwhile, they live in the home of Lee and Angela, played by Lily Gladstone, Kelly Marie Tran. They are a couple, a lesbian couple, and Lee wants to get pregnant. And they are going through IVF. The second treatment didn't take, and they only have a chance for one more. They also don't have money to do a third IVF treatment. And so Min is now being forced by his grandmother to return to South Korea. And Min is panicking and comes up with this plan. He is going to marry Angela so that he can stay in the United States and live this sham marriage. And in return, he'll give Lee the money she needs to have that third treatment. Chris is played by Bowen Yang. He is he loves Min, but he doesn't want to marry him because he feels like he's doing it for a green card. So there's a lot of this is basically green card. This is there are just many elements here that makes up a rom-com, an LGBT rom-com. And I will say this, walking into it, it was like yesterday, I just need to see some kind of movie. I'm going to see Wedding Banquet, even though I know I'm not going to like it. The trailers make it look super gay, which it is. By the end of the movie, I really like this movie. I was taken in. There are two aspects. One is it's a rom-com. It's a love story, and the two love stories here are very touching. Also, it's not woke in the sense of they're just gay. There's no politics here where there's no finally we live in a state where we're allowed to get married, and there's none of that. There's
no lecturing. There's no lecturing.
And that's quite refreshing. The other thing is they're all Asian except Lily Gladstone. This movie is so authentic to the Asian culture. It's like I'm watching this movie going, oh, this could really happen in real life.
Yeah, you know who was the surprise standout in the movie?
Who?
The grandmother.
Yeah. Min's grandmother.
Yeah. Yeah. She was amazing.
Yeah, she's great. Also, Joan Chen plays Angela's mom, and she plays kind of the gypsy Rosalie.
That's so funny.
This mother is such a narcissist that her whole self-worth and honor comes from the fact that Angela is gay, and that she has decided she's going to become the great ally to her daughter and to the gay community. And so she starts making up stories about the suffering that Angela had gone through. So she gets this LGBT ally cred. I know people like this. I know people like this. I mean,
she gets an award at the beginning of the movie for her support, Joan Chen's character, for the support of the LGBTQ plus community. It's really, this is like how you do a romantic comedy, a gay romantic comedy, right?
Yeah, we saw compared to Bros.
Yeah, we saw the movie Bros made for $50 million. That was so stereotypical, it just reeked of inauthenticity. This is very authentic. And while I can't speak to the Asian aspect, these were characters I grew to really like. And Kelly Marie Tran, her character was, you could see her caught in the middle of all this. Crazy things happen between her and Bowen Yang's
Yeah, there's
character.
a big twist in the middle of the movie.
There's a big twist, which we will, no spoilers. And it's just a really good, this is the kind of romantic comedy. I mean, it could also be straight characters, right? The situation. They didn't necessarily need to be gay, just whatever. It really worked for me. And this is not a huge budget, not 50 million, probably like under 10. But I really got sucked in and really loved it. By the end, I was laughing, very surprised. It's disappointing that some, comments has come out about Kelly Marie Tran and whatnot, and related to Star Wars. Put that aside if you can. Just focus on, I want to see a good romantic comedy. There are two gay couples, a gay male couples, gay female couples, and there's situational comedy involving family and marriage and inheritance. And it just, I don't know. I really loved it.
And I think I like the story. I think it's a brilliantly written script in terms of it tells what you think is a standard story and puts a lot of twists on it to put its own spin on it. For example, there's the birdcage element of this movie, and that birdcage element just kind of ends about 60% into the movie, and it goes on in a very different and heartfelt direction. Very, very original. Because I think that's the thing I feared most about walking into this movie is I'm just going to see another coming out story or a story where gay people have to hide themselves and stuff like that. And it was refreshing to go about 50% in the movie and realize they're not going in that direction. And could this be a straight couple? No, because both situations are particularly gay. And I think that's what the other thing I like about it is it's not a straight story with gay characters. It's a decidedly gay story. Last thing I'll say is let's be honest. Not everyone's into LGBT and gay stories. This is not going to sway you in any way. So, if that's not your thing, go ahead and pass. But if you want to open yourself up to something new, something you're not used to, this is a really good movie to go see this weekend for Easter weekend.
Yeah. And I'll emphasize again the grandmother character and how she kind of comes around to, that was the redemption story.
Yeah.
I thought was amazing. So let's go to comments here as we wrap up.
All right. Zumius, it's the gay, crazy rich Asians.
You could see it from that point of view. Yeah, that works.
Only one person is rich. Let's be real. Suns and Shadows, is this the gayest Asian movie ever? No. There have been gayer Asian movies. One Punch Man Tolkien fan. So this movie is not only gay, but tran.
Kelly Marie
Tran. ADLS24. This strikes me as the type of comedy we used to always get in the late 90s and early aughts.
Yes, it actually has that feeling. Again, not luxury, not agenda, just situational problems that need to be solved. And yes, you're right. It's like a comedy of the 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah. I remember a lot of times you walk into these kind of movies and you're just anticipating the lecture moment.
There wasn't one.
Well,
the way it's told, I mean, you could say it, but it's the grandmother is the grounding force.
Mm-hmm.
She really becomes prominent in the third act, and she's amazing.
Yeah, and that big twist that oh my gosh, can you legally do that in an LGBT movie? That's the question.
They did. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here real quick.
From Goat Meat for 199, please play the hymn trailer from Jordan Peele.
We're wrapping up. Put that in the notes to do next week.
Yeah,
either Monday or Wednesday.
Because we saw it at CinemaCon, and not worth going into right now.
Yeah, we got to wrap up the show. Unfortunately, I am in Vegas. I'm not sure if I don't think I'm going to be on FNT today, dude. I'm like too tired.
So are they. Come on.
Yes, they're tired. I know Gary is tired. So it's crazy. But my apologies for the technical issues. Thank you, Alan, for holding down the fort, and Lori. I appreciate that. My internet came back, but got really bad in the middle. Hopefully that doesn't ruin our clips. So
I think we're good.
How did you do when I was gone?
Well, ran out of things to talk about. And so decided we're just gonna take the worst movie on the list and review it. So.
Yeah, great. There were good movies this week. There were good movies.
Yeah.
And despite I have misgivings about Sinners, I still recommend it.
I mean, can you think if they had just cut off the ending where you wanted it, what kind of rating?
I would think better of the film.
A lot better, or just better?
Better.
Okay.
I think people overpraise it because of reasons. Reasons. They're overpraising it for obvious reasons, which is dishonest to me. But I still recommend it in spite of that multiple ending credit thing. I really think I also admire it because it's Ryan Coogler giving a finger to Marvel.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, it's an indie film. And just the fact that he can make good indie films, keep making good indie films.
And thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, Atomic Glory, Glenn Nuccio. Thanks, Alan, for holding down the fort while I was indisposed there. So my apologies for that. We'll be back on Monday with Versus. Hopefully I've survived.
Yeah, hopefully all your stuff is still there.
Exactly. So there you go. Alan?
Yeah, let's get out of here.